Brother, you've got quite the appetite. District F-27 inside a fine dining restaurant. Su Ben had set his giant crossbow on a chair beside him and was tearing into a massive beef rib. The aroma of dripping meat oil filled the air, making those at nearby tables swallow hard. His table was piled high with delicacies, enough to make others' eyes burn with envy. Eating fine food wasn't rare. Ordinary families sometimes splurged. But no one had ever seen someone eat like this. Felt as if he was eating his last meal before death. Boss, your food's good. Better than back home. Su Ben mumbled through a mouthful. The owner beamed. Of course. I learned from my father since I was a boy. Local dishes anyone can make. But refining fine food? That's my specialty. He gave himself a proud thumbs up. Su Ben nodded vigorously. Damn right. So you're not from F-27? Just passing through. The owner's curiosity grew. Big spenders always drew interest. Yeah, I'm from F-54, Su Ben said casually. Came to rest, buy some medicine for the road. What kind of medicine? The owner asked. Su Ben raised a brow, gnawing on a lamb shank. Why? Got connections. Of course. I've lived here all my life. If nothing else, I've got contacts. The owner thumped his chest. Bleeding stoppers, healing salves. As much as possible. Su Ben wiped his greasy mouth. The more the better. The owner blinked. Brother, what are you planning? Risking your life. Better prepared than dead. Money's just paper. You can't spend it in the grave. Su Ben declared boldly. The owner chuckled. True enough. He glanced around, lowered his voice. But medicine's hard to get right now. What? A district this big and no medicine? Su Ben sneered. Didn't you brag about connections? Talking nonsense. The owner flushed, hurried to explain. Normally sure. But lately things are tight. Tight? What kind of stingy district watches medicine so closely? Su Ben scoffed. The owner sighed, sat beside him whispering. Something happened recently. What happened? Su Ben leaned in, lamb shank forgotten. I only heard rumors, the owner said like a thief. Our district's monitors offended someone powerful. Su Ben laughed. Powerful? What, the upper city royals? The owner's eyes narrowed. The tri-union leaders. Big enough. The tri-union zone? Su Ben perked up. How'd the monitors cross them? They captured someone. Turned out to be the son of one of the tri-union leaders. Now they're here for revenge. The owner sighed. Isn't that absurd? Monitors enforce order. Should they check your background before arresting you? Su Ben scowled. Exactly. Those tri-union bastards have no honor. Just bullies. Their roots run deep. Even the Central District gives them face. And us. We're nothing. The owner spat. We're all just surviving like rats, yet they insist on ranks and privilege. So how were the monitors punished? All killed? Su Ben asked, curious. The owner shook his head. Don't know. But this morning 2 corpses were dumped outside the monitor's office. Faces smashed beyond recognition. So brazen. Attacking the monitor's headquarters. Yeah. And our chief didn't even dare fart in protest. Pathetic. Keep your voice down. You trying to die. Su Ben warned. The owner realized his outburst, lowered his tone and gave Su Ben a grateful look. Brother, after this meal, go buy medicine elsewhere. If you cross those bastards, you could get cut down just walking the street. He had meant to profit from Su Ben. But after talking, he spoke from the heart. Su Ben's eyes gleamed, then he grinned. All right. Thanks. He tossed 1,000 sola onto the table. The owner blinked. Brother, that's too much. Not too much. Worth it. Su Ben hefted his crossbow and strode out. At the same time, Huizi had parked the car in a small grove about a kilometer from F-32's walls. From his position he could see the main gate. When Ning Fan came out, he'd be ready to pick him up. Expressionless, Hui Zi twirled a dagger in his hands, flipping it through tricks. He had wanted to enter with Ning Fan but was refused. He was too well known in F-32, easy to recognize. And if Ning Fan stirred trouble, only executors would respond. But if Hui Zi used his spirit servant, the monitors would intervene. So he agreed, better to wait and cover the escape. Hope the kid can pull it off, Hui Zi muttered, worry in his voice. When we've got money, first thing's a phone. Suddenly rumbling engines approached. Flashing lights swept toward him. Hui Zi stiffened, ducked behind a tree. A car stopped nearby. He gripped his dagger tight, brows furrowed. A man in a gray trench coat stepped out. "Brother, there's a car here," he called to the vehicle. No one around, but the engine's still running. A deep voice answered from inside. "No owner? Then it's ours. Drive it off." Cars were vital to Wanderer teams. And Hui Zi's car, bought by Song Kai, was high-end. Behind the tree, Hui Zi's face darkened. If they took the car, Ning Fan would have no way out. But if he revealed himself, claiming ownership, he'd be outnumbered. An unattended car could be taken. A car with a lone owner could be stolen. And Hui Zi knew, if he showed himself, they wouldn't treat him kindly. Because the man in the trench coat belonged to a team. The House of Stray Dogs' fiercest rivals. The Windcutters. Damn. This car's loaded with good stuff. The man in the trench coat had already climbed inside. His eyes gleamed at the sight of the supplies stacked within. The Windcutters had been around for years, but they had never been this rich. The others got out too, peering into Hui Zi's car. Greed flickered in every eye. "Brother, you sure this isn't trouble?" The trench coat man turned to a short but wiry figure, Zhao Jinsong, leader of the Windcutters. Zhao's gaze was locked on the supplies, unable to look away. After a moment's hesitation, he glanced around, confirming no one was near. Take the supplies. Even he couldn't resist the temptation. Wanderers lived with their heads tied to their belts. Danger was part of the trade. But a haul like this was worth the risk. One member asked, "Brother, what about the car?" "Leave it." Zhao Jinsong had some sense. He wanted the car too, but it was too traceable. Better to abandon it. This load alone was fortune enough. From the shadows, Hui Zi watched, teeth grinding, forcing himself to stay hidden. If they had tried to take the car, he would have fought to the death. But since Zhao ordered it left behind. After a bitter struggle, Hui Zi swallowed his rage. The priority was clear. When Ning Fan came out, Hui Zi had to be ready to pick him up. He watched helplessly as the Windcutters drove off, their vehicle now heavy with stolen supplies. Only then did Hui Zi step from the shadows. "Damn it. They cleaned me out." Meanwhile, Ning Fan stood in a dark alley, steadying his breath. Nervous. Uneasy. Thrilled. He raised his head. The third floor of the research institute glowed with light. He clenched his jaw, steeled his heart. Clinging to the rough wall like a gecko, he climbed toward the window. At the sill, he peeked inside. A man dozed on the sofa. Ning Fan eased the window open, slipped inside. The landing was soft, but the man stirred, eyes cracking open. Seeing a stranger before him, he jolted awake. Too late. Ning Fan's broken sword was already at his throat. "Shoo, don't speak." A hat shadowed Ning Fan's face, a rag covering his mouth. "Cooperate, or I'll find another way to silence you." His voice was cold, trembling faintly. The man was the director of F-32's Research Institute. His face went pale, terror flashing in his eyes. But he nodded. "Friend, what do you want? Do we know each other?" "Where's the special medicine?" Ning Fan rasped. The director froze. You're insane. The special medicine worth 1,000,000 sola. Even in the Central District, it was no small matter. And this was the institute. To covet it was madness. Yes. Mad. Ning Fan's tone was flat. Madmen do anything. The director felt his resolve. Till he frowned. There's one dose. But it's for the chief. Even if you take it, you'll never leave F-32 alive. You sound young. Leave now. I'll forget this happened. Life. Don't throw your life away. Ning Fan's eyes burned. Without medicine, how do I live? Don't waste my time. I don't want to kill someone with no grudge. The director sighed. It's not here. It's in the vault on the second floor. Ning Fan's brow furrowed. Seeing his sharp gaze, the director explained, something that valuable, I wouldn't keep it on me. Can you open the vault? Yes. How many people outside? Not sure. At this hour, maybe 4 or 5 researchers. Guards, 3 or 4 on the first floor, 2 at the vault. Good. We're going. Ning Fan dragged the director up, threw on a lab coat from the rack. The broken sword pressed against the man's waist beneath the coat. One wrong move and it would pierce. Luck was with him, no one crossed their path. Down the corridor, 2 guards stood before a heavy door. Director Chen, what brings you here? One greeted cheerfully. But suspicion flickered. The figure beside the director wore a coat, hat low, face wrapped in black cloth. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. Before they could react, he lunged. Bang! Bang! Both guards fell. After slaying over 300 fiends, Ning Fan's speed and swordsmanship had soared. Against guards without spirit servants, it was effortless. The director gaped. This boy's reflexes were beyond human. No wonder he dared storm the institute alone. Lucky he hadn't resisted. Child, think again, the director urged. Beyond this door, there's no turning back. I lost that long ago. Ning Fan shoved him forward. Open it. With a sigh, the director unlocked the vault. Inside, he rummaged through a corner, producing a metal case. Open it. He obeyed. Within lay a syringe. Green liquid shimmered inside. The special medicine. Ning Fan's breath caught. Since he was 6, every struggle had been for this. And now, by risking everything, he held it. How ironic. Child. The director's words ended as Ning Fan struck, knocking him unconscious. He stashed the case, dragged the guards inside, shut the vault, and fled. Back to the 3rd floor, out the window, down the wall. Hat and cloth discarded, Ning Fan sprinted through the streets, clutching the case to his chest. His heart pounded like a drum. Last. His mother could be saved. Within 20 minutes he reached the familiar alley. The weathered wooden door. Home. Xiaojia, what did you find out? Outside the black market, Su Ben sat on a wooden crate. Xiao Fei leaned against the wall across from him. Wen Kai has a strong reputation in the black market. After she was taken, many people went to the Monitors building to put pressure on them. Xiao Fei's face was cold. But it was useless. Some of them were even seized by the Tri-Union men. Pai Side heard the same. The Tri-Union has already occupied the Monitors building. All the Monitors are trapped inside. The only ones who came out were corpses. Su Ben's expression hardened. This job, it's going to be tough. The Tri-Union's influence was too great. Even the chief dared not intervene, letting them run wild. And with only 4 members of the House of Stray Dogs, how could they fight? Xiao Fei raised a brow. You want to back out? Fine. I won't stop you. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Su Ben protested. Bullying the new guy? I didn't say I wouldn't do it. Can't I just sigh once in a while? Xiao Fei ignored him. Xiaojia, listen. Charging in won't work. Even if we beat the Tri-Union men, what if the chief, afraid of trouble, sends people to wipe us out? Then we're finished. Xiao Fei silently agreed. She had considered the same. The chief's stance was unclear. District F-27 was far more complicated than they had imagined. Wait, she said thoughtfully. We'll tell the captain everything and let him decide. Inside the Monitors building. Subcaptain, word is someone outside is asking about the Monitors. A man in Tri-Union uniform lounged in a chair, legs crossed, rocking back and forth. He raised a brow. Oh, that kid who caught the young master. Doesn't seem so. Doesn't match our intel. Then ignore it. The man smirked. Debts have owners. Whoever caught the young master will pay. His smile deepened. We're reasonable men. At his doorstep, Ning Fan straightened his clothes. Bloodstains from slaying fiends still clung to the fabric, though he had tried to wash them away. His lips curved into a gentle smile. Finally he pushed the door open, full of anticipation. A stench rushed out. His smile froze. Stench was common in the lower city. No one who lived here was unused to it. But the smell was different. It was the smell of rot. Mom, I'm home. Though his mother had been unconscious since the plague, he always greeted her. No reply. That was normal. Xiaozhe. Lazy. He called for his two friends, the ones he trusted to watch over her. Silence. Ning Fan pushed the door wide and stepped inside. The smell grew stronger. His eyes fell on the bed. Empty. Only a white sheet lay across it. Mom. His smile faltered. Where was she? Why wasn't she here? His throat tightened. Mom. His smile twisted. Xiaozhe. Lazy. Where are you? He rushed to the bed, even checked beneath it. No one. The stench was overwhelming. Kneeling, he realized it came from behind him. A dreadful premonition rose. He knew the smell. He turned. In the corner lay two corpses, long decayed. Unrecognizable, but he knew them. Lay. His teeth chattered. He couldn't even say their names. His body shook violently, unable to stay upright. Why? The metal case slipped from his hands, clattering to the floor. He stared at it, vision blurring. The medicine. I got it. His voice broke into sobs. All you had to do was watch my mom. Why did you die? His mother was gone. His childhood friends. Dead. Why? Who would do this? Who would take a dying woman? He didn't know. He couldn't understand. He tore the sheet from the bed, crawled to the corpses. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. His sobs convulsed his body. He covered them with the sheet, pressed his hands to the floor, head bowed low. I'm sorry. There was nothing else to say. If they hadn't been caring for his mother, they might still live. Fan. A woman's voice trembled from the doorway. Ning Fan whipped around. She gasped, stepping back. In the dim light, his eyes glowed red. He recognized her. Aunt Wu. His neighbor. He had watched him grow up. Everyone liked the gentle, polite boy. Now fear was etched on her face. Aunt Wu, do you know something? Ning Fan staggered to his feet, clutching at her like a drowning man. Where's my mom? She glanced around nervously as if afraid of being seen. Then she gripped his hand. Xiaofan, I saw Fangjie taken away. His heart lurched. He didn't understand who would take her and why. But Aunt Wu wouldn't lie. Aunt Wu, tell me. She softened, pitying him. Don't worry. At least Fangjie woke up. Those two didn't seem to harm her. She woke up. His eyes sharpened. Aunt Wu nodded. Yes. I saw her walk away with them. Two people. Who? I don't know. Her voice dropped to a whisper. But I heard others say, their clothes, their smell. They weren't from the lower city. Not from the lower city? They must be from the upper city. Upper city people came to my home and took my mother. Why? Suddenly Ning Fan remembered. That bloodline report. Neither upper city blood, nor lower city blood. And that broken sword. All of it, things his mother had left him. His mind spun in chaos. The sudden turn of events shattered his ability to think. Clues scattered, impossible to piece together. Xiaofan, I'm sorry. That woman had a weapon at her waist. I didn't dare stop her. Aunt Wu's face was full of guilt. Ning Fan shook his head. It's not your fault, Aunt Wu. Thank you. She had risked much just to tell him this. Ordinary people would never meddle in such dangerous, shadowed affairs. Aunt Wu, I need to be alone. His voice was hollow. She sighed. Child, don't think the worst. Don't trap yourself in despair. Please. Fangjie is still alive. Yes. I know. Thank you. He felt her trying to give him hope. Closing the door, Ning Fan sat in silence. The more he thought, the more his head throbbed. After 20 minutes, he rose. He carried the bodies of his two friends to the small courtyard behind the house and buried them. Not a word spoken. His tears had already dried. Back inside, he searched the room. No messages left for him. He picked up the metal case, tucked it into his coat, and left. Soon he was back at the district gate. The guard tried to chat, but Ning Fan gave no reply. Outside the walls, a car pulled up. Huizi jumped out. Why are you alone? Where's Mom? I don't know. Ning Fan climbed in. Huizi froze. Something was wrong. Those eyes. Vacant, hollow, as if the soul had fled. Captain, what's wrong? Huizi asked, worried. Nothing. Ning Fan's voice was flat, lifeless. Let's go. To F-27. Save Kaijie first. You sure? Huizi pressed. Ning Fan nodded mechanically. Sure. Seeing he could get nothing more, Huizi sighed and prepared to drive. Oh, right. Huizi hesitated. While you were inside, our supplies got stolen. Ning Fan lifted his eyelids, glanced at him. Then turned to the car interior. Half a load of supplies. Gone. Who stole them? Damn. Bad luck. While I was waiting in the woods, the wind cutters passed by. So our supplies carried them off. Huizi's anger flared. Oh. Ning Fan nodded. Then opened the car door. Huizi panicked, grabbing his arm. What are you doing? Taking the supplies back. Ning Fan's voice was cold. And slaughtering the wind cutters. Huizi stared stunned. Was this still Ning Fan? Those eyes, icy merciless. And when he spoke of killing the wind cutters, there was no emotion at all. Ning Fan, what's happening to you? Huizi's voice trembled. Ning Fan's face was blank. But tears slid down his cheeks. The sight was eerie. Whoever steals from me, dies. Inside District F-32. The wind cutters' base. Unlike the House of Stray Dogs, the wind cutters lived together for convenience. Zhao Jinsong's dream had always been to make his team the most renowned in F-32. The strongest team needed a stronghold. Against his members' protests, he had spent a fortune on a large compound near the district wall, building more than a dozen rooms. Now the courtyard was piled high with supplies. Members gathered around, faces glowing with excitement. Damn, brother. We hit the jackpot. All top-grade stuff. One man's eyes shone. Blood stoppers, recovery meds. Even tranquilizers. You can't even buy these in the black market. Compared to F-21, F-32 was poor in resources. And these supplies, arranged by Song Kai himself, were rare treasures. Zhao Jinsong folded his arms, chin high, basking in their praise. Only Zhao Bro could pull this off. Went out for a stroll, came back with a mountain of gold. A woman in revealing clothes purred, Zhao Bro, what do we do with all this? Sell what we don't need in the black market. He had already decided. Keep a little blood stopper and recovery meds. That's enough. Medicine was wasted on the weak. In his eyes, wounds could be endured. No need for indulgence. No one objected. Selling meant profit. All right, no missions for now. Zhao clapped his hands. Focus on moving these supplies. But be careful, don't leave a trail back here. He was cautious. Even he knew these supplies weren't from ordinary folk. If they had provoked someone powerful, they'd pay dearly. Relax. We've got channels for this. A man began sorting the goods. Then 2 heavy knocks at the gate. Thud. Thud. Everyone froze. Zhao quickly ordered the supplies hidden. Thud. Thud. He signaled to the trench coat man. The man opened the gate. A young man stood outside, face expressionless. Zhao squinted. He looked familiar. Sorry, we're not taking jobs right now. Zhao smiled, waving him off. Try another team. The young man was Ning Fan. He stepped inside, ignoring Zhao's words. Zhao's smile faded. Then suddenly he slapped his forehead. I remember. You're that kid who asked me to cut down Huizi. He relaxed, dismissing Ning Fan as nothing. Swaggering forward, he grinned. Got the money now? Too late. Haven't you heard? The House of Stray Dogs is finished. Would you like me to continue translating the next confrontation, where Ning Fan faces Zhao Jinsong and the Wind Cutters head-on? Ning Fan and Zhao Jinsong had indeed crossed paths before. Back then Lin Chuan's test for Ning Fan was to injure Huizi. But Ning Fan knew he wasn't strong enough to hurt Huizi. So his first thought was to ask Zhao Jinsong for a price. Now looking back, felt like a lifetime ago. Zhao Jinsong could never have imagined that the boy standing before him now was already captain of the House of Stray Dogs. Alright kid, we're busy here. No time to entertain you. Zhao waved him off. But Ning Fan's gaze shifted past him. Several members were still moving supplies. Seeing only a half-grown boy, they hadn't bothered to hide them. Those things are mine. Ning Fan raised his hand, pointing at the medicine clutched in one man's arms. Zhao Jinsong froze. The others stiffened too. This hall was dangerous. If word spread, trouble would follow. Kid, what do you mean? Zhao's face darkened, hand resting on the hilt of his machete. A child could be scared off easily. But before he could decide how to intimidate him, Ning Fan struck. The broken sword flashed, leaving a ghostly trail. Zhao's face went rigid. A chill touched his throat. Then warmth. Ah. He tried to speak, but blood clogged his voice. Splurt. A spray of crimson burst from his neck. Thud. Zhao collapsed to his knees, clutching his throat, desperate to stem the flow. But it was useless. Blood soaked his sleeves, spreading across his chest. Ning Fan walked past him, indifferent to his struggle. The Wind Cutters stared, stunned. They had seen death before. But never like this. Never someone so cold, so empty. His eyes held no chill, no fury. Only void. Crush. Zhao Jinsong fell, blood pooling beneath him. The sound snapped the others awake. You bastard. The trench coat man reached for his weapon. Ning Fan leaned forward. One step. And the broken sword pierced his throat. Rigid silence. Ning Fan withdrew, flicked the blade clean. Next. The Wind Cutters scrambled, weapons drawn. But 3 more fell before they could resist. The gap was too wide. Without spirit servants, they were helpless. Finally. Spirit servant. Gale. One man released his servant. Forbidden in the district, but who cared? Without it they would die. With it, perhaps the monitors could be bargained with. Ning Fan's eyes locked on him. He lunged. The man's servant boosted his speed. He leapt back, dodging Ning Fan's strike. Damn you. Did you think we couldn't fight back? In moments, 5 Wind Cutters were dead. Only 4 remained. They rallied, releasing their servants. Ning Fan gave no reply. He pressed forward. Spirit servant. Mire. The ground beneath him thickened, sticky, slowing his steps. Spirit servant. Fire burst. A blaze roared toward him. The Wind Cutters had earned their name. At first, Ning Fan's ruthless strikes had caught them off guard. Bound by the district's rules, they hesitated. But now, with death looming, they fought with everything. The fire closed in. Ning Fan switched his grip, slashing down. The flames split apart. The woman who cast them gasped. No one had ever cut fire before. But then she smiled. She saw the Gale user circling behind Ning Fan, twin daggers raised, leaping for his shoulders. Ning Fan's face remained blank. He seemed oblivious to the danger. The man grinned, victory close. But his daggers froze. 10 centimeters from Ning Fan's flesh. Ning Fan's broken sword had already pierced his heart. Gale? Ning Fan didn't look back. His eyes fixed on the firewoman. Slower than Jian Wuchou. Another kill. The wind cutters, down to 3. Their faces turned ashen. Even with servants unleashed, he cut them down. And stranger still, they felt no servant's aura from him. Whether he had none or simply refused to use it, the terror was the same. Brother, you've killed enough. Keep going and no one wins. The mire user spoke, voice tight. Take your things back. Let's end it here. It wasn't cowardice. It was futility. The wind cutters were broken. Even if they killed him, what then? We all just want to live. We saw supplies left unattended, so we picked them up. If they're yours, we'll return them. His eyes stayed wary, never leaving Ning Fan. But before Ning Fan could answer, noise erupted outside. Engines. Footsteps. The man's eyes lit up. Brother, the monitors are coming. Let's call it quits. He wasn't lying. Ning Fan knew the commotion would draw them. And by now, the theft of the special medicine must have been discovered. So it wasn't just monitors. Executors might be coming too. The man thought. Ning Fan hesitated. He pressed his plea. But Ning Fan moved again. The man never imagined it. After all his pleading, reasoning, and appeals, this mad child would still strike. The mire slowed Ning Fan, but the man's distraction weakened its grip. In an instant, Ning Fan was upon him. The broken sword flashed. Another life ended. Even in death, the man's eyes were filled with disbelief. But the monitors were nearly here, yet this boy's first thought wasn't escape. It was slaughter. What kind of hatred was this? All for stolen supplies? The fire-wielding woman stood frozen. Beside her, another man was equally paralyzed. They could no longer muster any resistance. A minute later, the wind cutter's base was littered with corpses. Ning Fan silently entered the room, tossing the stolen supplies into their own vehicle. Outside, the noise grew louder. The monitors were closing in. He slid into the driver's seat, eyes calm as still water. Firm. He slammed the accelerator. The car shot forward like an arrow, smashing through the gates. He aimed for the district gate, but several vehicles blocked the way. Ning Fan glanced at them once, then turned deeper into the district. Behind him, the pursuers accelerated, shouting warnings, demanding surrender. Ning Fan ignored them. Not long ago in F-27 he had hunted Su Bei. Now he was the hunted. He sped through alleys, weaving with precision. He knew F-32 too well. But with both monitors and executors chasing, escape seemed impossible. He made his choice. The wheels spun and he turned onto the road he knew best. The road to his home. He had walked it for 18 years. Every neighbor's name, every brick and stone bore witness to his childhood. Driving fast, he flung open the door. Supplies spilled out, scattered across the street. Priceless goods tossed away. He couldn't take them, so he gave them back, to the people. The pursuers faltered, surprised. Neighbors emerged, curious at first. It's Xiao Fan. Aunt Wu saw him in the car. She saw the chasing vehicles, the supplies strewn across the ground. He understood. He was the first to rush forward, scooping up medicine. One became two, then many. Soon the street was crowded, filled with grasping hands. The pursuing cars screeched to a halt. A monitor leaned out, shouting, "Get out of the way. These are valuable. Take more." Aunt Wu cried to the neighbors. "Sell them in the black market. You'll eat fine food for days." The monitors roared in frustration, but the swelling crowd blocked them. Ning Fan burst free of the street, shaking off pursuit, and turned toward the gate. 10 minutes later, he reached the district wall. The gate was heavily guarded, far more than usual. Normally 2 guards sufficed. Now more than 10 stood watch, with monitors prowling nearby. They saw the car racing toward them, startled. Before they could react, it slammed into the gate. Crush. The gate shuddered. Catch him, the monitors roared. Ning Fan reversed, then surged forward again. Crush. The second impact was harder. Bullets rained down, executors firing their special weapons. Ning Fan reclined his seat, hiding within the car's armored shell. The wind cutters had reinforced it well. The walls held. Crush. The third strike split the gate, leaving a narrow gap, just wide enough for a man. The car sputtered, black smoke rising. The executors raised their hands, halting fire. Tension thickened the air. All eyes fixed on the wreck. Was he dead? Alive? The leaders exchanged a glance, nodded. Men advanced cautiously. They wanted to see the face of the madman who dared this. But before they could surround the car, Ning Fan sat up, sprang forward and bolted straight for the gap. He's running. They panicked. They had underestimated his speed. 2 seconds, that was all he gave them. Too late. Ning Fan slipped through, vanishing beyond the wall. Captain, what now? A monitor asked bitterly. Their leader stayed silent. But the executor's commander sneered, eyes narrowing at the gap. Outside, Huizi smoked nervously in the car. The crashes made him start, eyes wide, engine roaring to life. He was ready. Once Ning Fan appeared, he'd pull him in. He didn't wait long. Less than 500 meters from the wall, he saw Ning Fan burst through. Captain, get in. Huizi flung open the door. Ning Fan saw him, sprinted toward the car. Bang! A gunshot split the air. Ning Fan's body jerked, thrown backward, sprawling like a broken cross. Blood sprayed from his chest. Huizi's eyes burned red. Ning Fan. He had seen it. The bullet tearing through. The bloom of crimson mist exploding from his captain's chest. Huizi's eyes were bloodshot, his foot pressed so hard it nearly crushed the gas pedal. Clang, clang, clang. He swerved the car to Ning Fan's side, using the vehicle's frame to shield him from the hail of bullets. Dust and smoke billowed around them. Without stopping, Huizi flung open the driver's door, leaned out and shouted. Spirit servant, shadow. The car's light cast his shadow onto the ground. That shadow reached out, seized Ning Fan and dragged him inside. Huizi spun the wheel, the car tearing off in another direction. Damn it, Ning Fan. Don't you dare scare me like this. His vision blurred, but he kept driving recklessly into the unknown. You just became captain. Qiao Fei Deben and I were counting on you. If you die now, who the hell would dare take that position again? Is the House of Stray Dogs cursed? Every captain ends up dead. His words spilled out in a frenzy, desperate for Ning Fan to answer. Cough, cough, cough. Finally, Ning Fan slumped in the passenger seat, hacked violently. A mouthful of blood splattered across the windshield. Huizi whipped his head around, staring at Ning Fan's pale face. You all right? His eyes flickered with worry, but more than that, relief. At least Ning Fan was still alive. That shot was aimed at my heart. Ning Fan's voice was weak, ragged. Almost killed me. Then, to Huizi's shock, Ning Fan pulled something from his coat. A rotting wooden board. In the center of the carved word home, a bullet hole gaped. Ning Fan clutched it tightly. It was the House of Stray Dogs' old signboard. It had absorbed part of the bullet's force, saving his life. Where did you find that? Huizi's voice trembled. In a trash heap. Ning Fan wiped the blood from his lips. The House of Stray Dogs is watching over us. Huizi froze, then laughed through tears. Damn it, kid, you really know how to stab straight into the heart. Ning Fan gazed at the board, silent for a long time. Finally, he exhaled deeply. Hui, let's head to the cave. Meet up with Feijia and Deben. Huizi nodded, steering wide to avoid F-32 driving toward the cave. The wind cutters? Not one left. Ning Fan's tone was flat. All slaughtered. Huizi shivered. So ruthless. Hard to believe. Barely a month ago this boy had been soft, naive. And the shooter? Executors most likely. Ning Fan's voice was calm. Monitors don't use guns and rarely leave the district. The executors must have set up outside, waiting. If I broke through, their ambush would be the second line of defense. Huizi trembled. This boy, analyzing so coldly even now. Terrifying. He had changed too much. Ning Fan, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. Your mother. I don't know where she is. Ning Fan cut him off. But she wasn't at home. And she should still be alive. His face was blank. But my two brothers are dead. Huizi fell silent. Ning Fan added quietly, because of me. Ning Fan. Huiji. Ning Fan turned eyes on F-32. That place. I've no ties to it anymore. What will you do now? First save Kaijia. His gaze was deep, haunted. I can't think too far ahead. For now, I just want to protect the people I care about. So I don't regret again. All right. We're with you. Huiji. Ning Fan looked at him. You're one of them. Someone I care about. Huizi blinked, then smirked. You're getting sentimental, kid. Moments later, the car pulled up to the cave. Hearing the engine, Qiao Fei and Su Ben rushed out. Seeing Ning Fan pale, his chest soaked in blood, Qiao Fei cried out, Ning Fan. You're hurt. It's fine. Let's talk inside. He brushed it off. Inside the cave, the four sat together. Ning Fan recounted everything. Silence hung heavy. So, your mother was taken by upper city people? Qiao Fei frowned deeply. What connection does she have with them? I don't know. Ning Fan shook his head. But I'm not upper city. Not a drop of their blood runs in me. The report was clear. Then what's the plan? Should we go to upper city to find her? Su Ben's eyes lit up. He had wanted to go there anyway, to find his father. Now Ning Fan's mother had been taken, their goals aligned. Use your brain. Upper city isn't your backyard toilet. You can't just walk in. Huizi scoffed. Not now doesn't mean never. We'll find a way. Su Ben shot back. Huizi hesitated but said nothing more. De Ben's right. Ning Fan cut in. We'll go to upper city. But not yet. He didn't know where his mother was or why she was taken. He wasn't unconcerned, just powerless. When we return to F-21, I'll ask Brother Song. He knows the way to upper city. Once we understand, we'll plan. Better than wasting time in panic. His eyes hardened. For now, our focus is Kaijia. We need to figure out how to save her. Qiao Fei and Su Ben shared what they had learned in F-27. When Ning Fan heard the Tri-Union had seized the Monitor's building outright, his brow furrowed. Li Jiang is afraid. Li Jiang? Who's that? The chief of F-27. You even know the chief? Huizi asked, surprised. Ning Fan said nothing. He had only met him once, when Su Bei was captured. The Tri-Union's rampage was no secret. Li Jiang knew. But now, with the Monitor's building occupied and their people slaughtered, Li Jiang had stayed silent. His stance was clear. He would sacrifice F-27's monitors, rather than offend the Tri-Union. Would you like me to continue translating the next arc, where Ning Fan and the House of Stray Dogs plan their move against the Tri-Union to rescue Kaijia? The three sat in silence, watching Ning Fan. He stared into the faint firelight, fingers tapping aimlessly against his leg. Information was scarce. He knew nothing of how many men the Tri-Union had, nor their true strength. Though Su Ben and Qiao Fei had risked themselves to gather intelligence, they could only do so cautiously under the enemy's nose. Was there another way? Ning Fan narrowed his eyes, mind racing, burning through thought after thought. How could he turn the few resources at hand into an advantage? Suddenly his fingers stilled. His gaze snapped toward the cave entrance. The others, already tense, immediately braced themselves. What is it? Qiao Fei asked. Ning Fan rose. We're going. Where? District F-27. He glanced at the fire, stripped off his coat and smothered the flames. Though none of them understood his intent, they trusted him enough to follow. They boarded the car. Huizi drove as Ning Fan directed toward F-27. Ning Fan offered no explanation. His plan was not yet fully formed. He needed time to weigh its feasibility. Lost in thought, he barely noticed the passing hours until Huizi spoke. "Captain, we're here." Ahead loomed the gates of F-27. Ning Fan blinked back to focus, then turned to Su Ben. "Talk to the guards." "Got it." Su Ben stepped out, slipped them 2,000 sola and returned. The gates opened. The car rolled inside. At Ning Fan's command, Huizi drove to an inn. They checked in, gathered in a single room. "Captain, isn't this dangerous?" Su Ben asked seriously. "Too blatant. People come and go. Even the Tri-Union can't watch everyone," Ning Fan replied calmly. "As long as we don't draw attention, we'll be fine." "Then how do we gather intel?" Su Ben pressed. "We don't." Ning Fan's eyes drifted to the window. The others exchanged baffled looks. From his pocket, Ning Fan drew out a metal case. "De Ben, find that restaurant owner. Ask if he has connections, someone who can buy this." "What is it?" "Special medicine." For Ning Fan it was useless now. Qiao Fei frowned. She knew everything he had done was for this. But with his mother gone, it had lost all meaning. What lay beneath his calm exterior was impossible to imagine. "You really mean to sell it?" "For now. And after?" "Wait." "Wait for who?" Ning Fan's lips cracked dryly. "Reinforcements." "Reinforcements." All three stared in shock. "We have reinforcements?" Su Ben's curiosity burned. "Who?" "Monitor's office, interrogation room." When Kai sat with arms crossed, glaring coldly at the man before her. On the table lay a plate of fine food. "Take it and get out." Her voice was sharp. The man's face twisted. "Captain Wen, eat something." "I said get out. What used to being a lapdog? Can't understand plain words." Her roar shook him. "You don't have to be like this," he muttered, fists clenched. "I'm just trying to survive." "Pathetic." When Kai sneered. "Old Meng was right, you're born spineless. I regret not letting Ning Fan kill you outright instead of just breaking your leg." The man was Li Hui, the monitor Ning Fan had crippled. His face flushed red at her words. At the mention of Ning Fan's name, hatred flared in his eyes. "Captain Wen, he's an outsider. You sided with him, let him cripple me. Wasn't that wrong?" Li Hui. When Kai's eyes narrowed. "You'll never understand life." She drew a deep breath. "Get out. You disgust me." Li Hui's teeth ground together, nearly breaking. The door opened. A man in Tri-Union uniform entered, a smile plastered across his face. "Not eating." "Captain Zhang." Li Hui bowed quickly, forcing a grin. "Captain Wen has no appetite." This man had spoken with Ning Fan before. Zhang Wenchun, 7th Squad leader of the Tri-Union's Dark Lodge. "No appetite? Strange. I tried it, it's delicious." He eyed the plate, then turned to Li Hui with a smirk. "Maybe you spoiled her appetite." Li Hui's smile faltered. Zhang Wenchun shoved his head playfully. "Ugly bastard. Get out." "Yes, sir." Li Hui forced another grin, bowed and limped away. "Captain Wen, do I look better than him?" Zhang Wenchun sat across from her, legs crossed. "You're no better." When Kai's face was stone. "Stop wasting your time. You won't get Ning Fan's whereabouts from me. If I wanted to talk, I already would have." Zhang Wenchun didn't flinch. "Of course. Our Captain Wen is loyal, stronger than any man. You came here just to spout nonsense?" When Kai raised a brow. "Just chatting. Look, I mean no harm. Every day fine food and drink. If you don't eat, that's not my fault." He pointed at her chest. "You're starving yourself thin. Still bigger than your mother's." When Kai shot back. Zhang's eyes narrowed. She smiled. What's wrong? Losing patience? Want to torture me? Go ahead. Oh, I wouldn't dare. Zhang's grin returned. You're trying to provoke me. When Kai's eyes dimmed slightly, Zhang leaned forward. When we came in, we made a deal with Li Jiang. I can do whatever I want with the monitors. Except you. You're off limits. Her glare sharpened. Zhang's smile deepened. At first, I thought the old man was chasing youth, trying to bed a younger woman. But then I learned. His eyes gleamed. Captain Wen's father is from the Central District, isn't he? When Kai's body trembled, her reaction only made Zhang Wenchun more delighted. Ah, Captain Wen. No, I should call you Miss Wen. Sounds more respectful, doesn't it? He tilted his head, voice dripping with mockery. Your father is a senior researcher in the Central District, highly valued even by the regional chief. If we harmed you, things would get complicated. The Central District might intervene directly. Su Tong's orders were simple. Give the young master some face, no need to stir up real trouble. Lucky for you, you ran into me, not some hot-headed fool. His grin widened, playful and cruel. Otherwise, if someone accidentally hurt Miss Wen, wouldn't you suffer for keeping such a low profile? When Kai glared at him, her ploy had been exposed. She had deliberately tried to provoke him. If she were injured, the Central District would be forced to step in. The Tri-Union's influence in District F was immense, but with the Central District, there were limits. Respect had to be mutual. The daughter of a senior researcher couldn't simply be discarded. Even Su Wanjun would struggle to explain that away. Li Jiang, chief of F-27, knew her identity. That was why he had warned Zhang Wenchun beforehand. Coward. When Kai spat, Zhang only laughed louder. Miss Wen swearing, so charming. She drew a deep breath, refusing to bicker further. She knew she could do nothing now. Zhang Wenchun wasn't a fool. All she could do was pray Ning Fan wouldn't be reckless enough to come charging into F-27 to save her. Yet if he didn't, she doubted she'd feel any relief either. Damn. When had she become so conflicted? Out in the wilderness, 6 vehicles stood idle on the barren ground. Several men had disembarked, waiting by their cars. 2 scouts came running from the distance. Captain, there's a cave ahead. One of them held up a blood-stained coat, eyes gleaming. Signs of rest inside, and this. The captain took the coat, studied it, then sneered. It's him. Another pointed at the tire tracks. They're headed toward F-27. Mount up. The captain waved his hand. Engines roared and the convoy sped away. So who the hell is this reinforcement? Su Ben was nearly frantic. Did you call Brother Chu? To him, the only possible ally was the Wolf Alliance. Strong, reliable, and with some ties of friendship. But Ning Fan shook his head. No need to drag Brother Chu into this mess. If he asked, Chu Hongbao would likely agree, because Su Ben was part of the House of Stray Dogs. Even unwilling, he would come. Not Brother Chu. Then who? Su Ben scratched his head in frustration. In the cave, I realized something. Ning Fan's voice was calm. I didn't use a spirit servant in F-32. Yet the monitors still came for me. Monitors and executors had clear roles. Monitors hunted spirit servant users. Executors pursued those who caused chaos without servants. The wind cutters had used servants. Ning Fan had not. Yet monitors came in force. Cars chased him, some filled with monitors, others with executors. Even the gate was heavily guarded by monitors. Wasn't that too much attention? His disturbance wasn't small, but not enough to mobilize an entire district. Executors had even set ambushes outside. When Su Bei, an A-class fugitive, was captured, F-27 had only deployed monitors. Executors hadn't even appeared. Something was off. The answer came quickly. The special medicine. The institute director had said it. This dose was prepared for the F-32 chief himself. By stealing it, Ning Fan had struck at the chief's personal interests. So the joint pursuit wasn't about his crimes. It was a direct order. Retrieve the medicine at all costs. You mean, they'll keep chasing you? Huizi's eyes widened. Ning Fan nodded. At F-32's gate when you pulled me into the car, many saw. Executors surely have trackers. Our tire marks are distinctive. They'll find us easily. And I left my coat in the cave. Once they find it, they'll know the trail is true. They'll keep coming. The others remembered him tossing his coat onto the fire. They thought he'd discarded it as dirty. But it had been bait, breadcrumbs for the pursuers. You're saying the reinforcements are F-32's executors? Qiao Fei pressed. Ning Fan nodded. Yes. They'll reach F-27 soon. But I don't get it. Qiao Fei frowned. Even if they come, they're here to catch you. Doesn't that just add more enemies? They won't get in so easily. Ning Fan's smile was faint. F-27 won't let them. Why not? Huizi asked quickly. Because something's happening here that Li Jiang doesn't want outsiders to know. The three understood instantly. The Monitor's building, occupied by the Tri-Union. Rules shattered, chaos rampant. Most chiefs swallow their pride before the Tri-Union. Ning Fan's eyes gleamed. But no one wants to be the laughingstock. Li Jiang won't want word spreading that the Tri-Union is trampling him. Exactly. Huizi snapped his fingers. If F-32's people come in and see Li Jiang being humiliated, where's his dignity then? Ning Fan's smile deepened. And from the executor's perspective, someone stole the special medicine, escaped in a costly vehicle, rested briefly in a cave, then slipped into F-27 unhindered. They'll demand entry. Their reasoning will be solid. But if they're refused, if they're resisted, then the story changes. Qiao Fei's eyes widened. They'll think, the thief is tied to Li Jiang. Maybe even sent by him. At the gates of District F-27, 6 vehicles bearing the insignia of F-32's executors had come to a halt. A crew-cut man stepped forward. Brother, we're executors from F-32. A fugitive ran into your district. Could you open the gate for us? His tone was polite. The guard inside studied him, then glanced at the cars behind. Fugitive? The guard asked, puzzled. What fugitive? Stole something from our district. The crew-cut man smiled lightly. Still, the guard did not open the gate. The man tilted his head. What's wrong? You doubt our identity. He pulled out a strangely shaped firearm. Executor-issued weapon. That should be proof enough, right? The guard hesitated at the sight of the gun. Wait here, he said, then went to report. The crew-cut man frowned, disdain flashing in his eyes. F-27's guards. What idiots. Defeng, what's going on? The car door opened. The captain, the same one who had once cornered Ning Fan, spoke grimly. Defeng turned, sneering. No idea. Looks like they went to report upstairs. He tapped his temple. These guards aren't too bright. Enough, the captain muttered. They're just doing their jobs. We show up with 6 cars, of course they're cautious. Let's wait. Defeng shrugged, saying no more. 10 minutes passed. The executors grew restless. Normally, once identities were confirmed with F-32, gates opened without fuss. This delay was unusual. Defeng asked again. The captain's patience was thinning. Hey! Defeng banged on the gate. Brothers, what's the deal? Leaving us hanging out here. The window opened. This time an older man appeared. Apologies. District F-27 is under full lockdown. Come back in a few days. His face was expressionless. Defeng froze, anger rising. What? You're not letting us in. This is the chief's order, the man replied coldly. But rest assured, no one leaves the district during lockdown. If your fugitive entered, he won't escape. Defeng was stunned. Full lockdown? By order of the chief? What was happening inside F-27? Captain. De Fong turned to his commander. The captain had heard everything. His brows furrowed. After a moment he stepped forward. Greetings. I'm Han Yu, captain of F-32's executors. The man inside looked at him. Lu Ziqiang. Executor captain of F-27. Han Yu blinked, raising his brows. The district's own captain had come? Something serious was happening inside. Captain Lu, since we're both in the same line of work, communication should be easy. Han Yu lowered his voice, smiling. Here's the situation. Our district lost something extremely valuable. We tracked the thief here. Our chief is furious, ordered us to bring back both the man and the item. We don't want trouble. Who likes chasing fugitives? Better to stay home with family, right? So let us in. If our numbers bother you, we'll bring only 3 cars. We'll grab the fugitive and leave immediately. No disturbance. How's that? His tone was courteous. But Lu Ziqiang shook his head. Apologies. As I said, this is the chief's personal order. Han Yu's smile stiffened, awkward. Lu continued, You're right, we all follow orders. You have your mission. I have my duty. Han Yu's smile vanished, replaced by cold steel. So you mean if we want entry, our chief must speak directly to yours? Exactly. If your chief orders it, I'll open the gate at once and assist in the capture. Lu shut the window. Outside, Han Yu's face darkened. Inside, the guards eyed Lu nervously. Captain Lu, didn't we let others in before? The guard had only reported because of the large number of cars. But when word reached Chief Li Jiang was troubled. F-32's executors were here to catch someone. If they entered, they would investigate. And then, the Tri-Union's forcible occupation of the Monitor's building would be exposed. No matter what, he couldn't allow them inside. Li Jiang refused to be the butt of the joke. The lockdown was just an excuse. Others could still enter. After all, Zhang Wenquan's plan depended on luring Ning Fan in. If no one could enter, how could the plan proceed? Outside, De Fong muttered beside Han Yu. This Lu Ziqiang is too arrogant. Same rank yet acting superior. His words stoked Han Yu's simmering anger. Captain, then should we? Before De Fong finished, Han Yu pulled out his phone, dialing. Chief, we've hit a snag. His tone was sharp. F-27 won't let us in. What? Why not? The chief sounded surprised. They claim full lockdown. Silence. After a long pause, the chief's voice came low and heavy. Did they say why? No. Just that it's their chief's order. And the one who spoke to me was their executor captain. Didn't even open the gate, talked through the window. Han Yu's anger boiled. The chief sensed it. You're certain the fugitive entered F-27? Certain. Han Yu snapped. The trail never broke. No other route. Fine. I understand. Chief, will you contact their chief? Han Yu asked quickly. Contact him. The chief chuckled coldly. Our fugitive runs into their district, and for a lawful capture I should beg him? Then, what do you mean? Full lockdown? Then how did the thief get in? Who's it really locking down? The chief's voice grew icy. Han Yu, if you're absolutely sure he's inside, then force your way in. Though Han Yu was already furious, he hadn't expected his chief to be so uncompromising. Chief, force our way in? Force it. If the Central District asks, we're in the right. What's there to fear? The chief's voice was iron. Do it boldly. If trouble comes, I'll take the blame. All right. Han Yu gritted his teeth. Chief, what if they fight back? Fight back? They wouldn't dare. The chief's eyes narrowed. Tell me, no matter how chaotic our district gets, if someone came to arrest a fugitive, would we block them this hard? Probably not, Han Yu admitted, sensing something off. Exactly. So why would they risk confrontation just to keep us out? What are they hiding? Han Yu had an inkling but didn't dare say it aloud. The chief had no such restraint. A nest of snakes and rats. Qiao Fei and the others exchanged bright glances. Indeed, Ning Fan's prediction was proving true. F-32 would suspect collusion. Li Jiang wanted to hide something. But F-32 would never guess that what he hid had nothing to do with them. This difference in perception could spark conflict. This was Ning Fan's reinforcements. Hui Zi's jaw dropped. After a long pause he muttered, "So this is what top grades get you? Even enemies can be turned into allies." Qiao Fei's eyes held admiration but also doubt. "I still don't believe F-32's chief would go this far. All for one vial of medicine." Hui Zi had given up thinking, waiting for Ning Fan's answer. "He would." Ning Fan's tone was flat. "A million credits, even for a chief, that's no small sum." "True, but to stir up a war over it? Seems excessive." Hui Zi grumbled. "That's because it isn't your million." Ning Fan's fingers tapped the table. "The chief already had the medicine. He knows where it is. Why pay again? And if conflict erupts, he still feels justified. He fears nothing. Most importantly, no matter how bloody it gets, even if every executor dies, he loses nothing. They're not his sons, not his kin. Just expendables. He can always recruit more." Ning Fan sneered. "But the million for the medicine, that comes from his own pocket." Qiao Fei shivered. Not at the situation itself but at Ning Fan's clarity. He had stripped human nature bare. Perhaps he had always understood. But once, a sliver of light had softened the darkness. With his mother missing, his brothers dead, that light was gone. Even if F-32 and F-27 clash, surely they won't fight to the death? Hui Zi ventured. "Not necessarily." Su Ben cut in before Ning Fan. "Fights start with shouting. Then tempers flare. Once blood spills, reason vanishes. They'll fight until they're satisfied." "Exactly," Ning Fan nodded. "Once casualties appear, both sides will see red. And each believes their chief stands behind them." Qiao Fei's eyes gleamed. "So you expect casualties?" "Yes. And heavier than we imagine." Ning Fan's gaze sharpened. "Once blood is spilled, F-27 will descend into chaos." Hui Zi caught his intent. "Ning Fan, you mean to use the chaos? For what?" Ning Fan smiled. "For something big." Bang, bang, bang. The gate shook under heavy blows. The window opened again. "I've received no order to open the gate," Lu Ziqiang snapped. "I've made myself clear." His answer was met not with words, but with the black muzzle of a gun. "Brother, I don't want to waste time." Han Yu's face was grim. "Open the gate." "You're insane." Lu Ziqiang reeled. He hadn't expected such brazen defiance. "Our chief said if you refuse, we use any means necessary." Han Yu's voice was ice. "3 counts. If you don't open, I fire." 1. His voice rose, sharp and commanding. 2. He had lost face before his men. Now he would reclaim it. The executors of F-32 trembled, but their blood surged. "I don't believe you'll." Bang. A bullet tore past Lu Ziqiang's ear. His head rang, the roar splitting his skull, leaving him dazed. "You're an executor too. You know how easily these things misfire." Han Yu's grin was cruel. "I can't promise where the next bullet lands. Want to test me?" Lu Ziqiang clutched his ear, eyes bloodshot, glaring. Han Yu pressed the barrel to his forehead, sneering. 3. Open the gate. Lu Ziqiang roared. He saw Han Yu's finger tighten on the trigger. He didn't fully believe Han Yu would dare kill him, an executor captain. But Han Yu carried his chief's authority, fearless and reckless. Lu Ziqiang would not gamble his life. The guards obeyed his order, swinging the gates wide. Han Yu smirked, waving his men forward. "Into the district. Find him." 6 executor vehicles rolled into F-27, swaggering like conquering heroes. Han Yu at the rear holstered his gun and smiled at Lu Ziqiang. Thanks for your cooperation. Lu Ziqiang's face was ashen like mourning the dead. Before Han Yu's eyes he pulled out his phone, dialing Li Jiang. Chief. F-32's executors are inside. Li Jiang's shock was clear. What? I told you to block them. They fired. Lu Ziqiang's teeth ground. At me. Would you like me to continue translating the next sequence, where Li Jiang reacts to this breach and the conflict between F-27 and F-32 escalates? Han Yu lounged in the car, legs crossed, cigarette dangling from his lips, chin raised high. This clash had won him plenty of face in front of his men. The executors around him practically worshipped him now. Compared to F-27, F-32 was smaller, rougher, less refined. But here they were, dancing on another district's pride. The feeling was intoxicating. With reason you walk the world. Without it you can't take a step. Beside him, De Fong puffed up with the scraps of his learning. We came to catch a fugitive. Why block us? They brought this on themselves. No. Han Yu taught them a lesson. Han Yu's grin widened. He waved casually. Forget it. We're all just working men. No need to hold grudges. See? Han Yu's magnanimous. De Fong continued to flatter. Han Yu cleared his throat. Enough. We're inside now. Let's focus. Catch the fugitive, recover the goods. If F-27 complains later, we'll have proof. With that he ordered the 6 vehicles to split up and search. De Fong was assigned to another car. He sat in the passenger seat, swaggering, eyes on the streets. F-27 isn't much better than F-32. Just as shabby. The driver chuckled. Only bigger. Honestly, I prefer F-32. De Fong sneered. Exactly. What's there to be proud of here? Pretentious bastards. De Fong, where should we go first? How should I know? First time here. Just drive around. The car wandered aimlessly through alleys. 10 minutes later they turned into a narrow lane. The driver leaned forward. De Fong, you look at that car. At the end of the lane sat a vehicle riddled with bullet holes. Looked familiar. De Feng's eyes lit up. Our lucky break. He recognized it. Their target's car. Stop. Search the area. Stay sharp. The 4-man squad disembarked, weapons drawn. But as they stepped out, something felt wrong. The car's rear door opened. A young man sat inside, smiling. His chest was wrapped in bandages, blood seeping through. You? De Fong froze. He recognized Ning Fan. Ning Fan raised a hand in greeting. Chased me all this way. Must have been tiring. A chill spread through De Feng's gut. This boy had been waiting for him. But wasn't he the hunter? Before De Fong could think, a cold voice rang from the alley. Spirit servant, Blossom Dance. A figure darted out. The executor at the rear felt a sudden searing pain in his back. Splurt. Blood sprayed. He collapsed, choking, eyes filled with unwilling rage. Damn it! An ambush! De Fong shouted. From the second floor of a nearby building came laughter. Ha ha! Sharp one, aren't you? Spirit servant. Heavy cannon. Boom. The executor's car exploded, fire and shrapnel hurling survivors into walls. Qiao Fei stepped forward, eyes lowered, blade flashing. Another life ended. Cough, cough. De Fong spat blood, chest burning. He watched another comrade cut down by a blade. Survival instinct surged. He staggered up, scrambling into a nearby building. Inside he found a back door. Bleeding, gasping, he fled into the street, finally reaching a main road. Seeing people nearby, he felt a flicker of relief. But he didn't stop. Not until he saw his own. 5 minutes later he spotted a car, marked with the executor's insignia. Inside was Han Yu. Han Ji. De Fong ran like a drowning man to shore. It's bad. We were ambushed. The car screeched to a halt. Han Yu leapt out shocked. What happened? That kid set us up. Defeng's face was pale. My whole squad, all dead. What? Han Yu's face darkened like a storm. Barely half an hour inside the district, and already a squad wiped out. Stop stammering. Tell me exactly what happened. Defeng recounted the ambush, trembling. Han Yu's eyes widened. They used spirit servants? Yes. And powerful ones. The memory of the explosion still haunted Defeng. But Han Yu's thoughts turned elsewhere. He looked toward the direction Defeng had fled, his expression growing darker. They used spirit servants inside the district, and F-27's monitors did nothing? In a dusty, damp hideout, Huizi was grinning at Su Ben. Damn de Ben, that era was brutal. I was about to jump out, but you nailed them first. Su Ben smirked. Told you, I'm good. After ambushing Defeng's squad, the House of Stray Dogs had retreated here, a safe house prepared in advance. Captain, should we hit F-27's executors next? Huizi asked. He thought Ning Fan's plan was to strike both sides, plunging the district into chaos. But Ning Fan shook his head. No need. Now we wait. Wait. Yes. Wait. Ning Fan licked his lips. We use spirit servants. Normally what happens? Qiao Fei answered quickly. The monitors hunt us. Exactly. Ning Fan nodded. But what are F-27's monitors doing? The three exchanged glances, eyes bright. Locked away by the Tri-Union. Unable to enforce order. And F-32's executors don't know that. F-27 won't explain. They'll hide it. Ning Fan's smile deepened. The result. Suspicion grows. Distrust festers. The stage is set. Now, let's see how they play the drama. Captain, trouble outside. Inside the monitor's office building, a man bowed before Zhang Wenchun. Word is someone used a spirit servant. Oh. Zhang raised a brow. Who? Not sure yet, the man replied respectfully. But I heard it's the fugitive from F-32. He quickly relayed the details. Zhang Wenchun pondered. Coincidence? Or something more? At such a sensitive time, suspicion was natural. Confirm the fugitive's identity. See if it's the one we're after. Yes, sir. And check the executors from F-32. Make sure that Brat isn't hiding among them. Understood. The man hesitated, then added, Captain, Li Jiang just called again. He asked how long this will drag on. Said his patience has limits. Zhang blinked, then smirked. Ignore him. The man wanted to argue, but Zhang sneered. If he had any backbone, he'd have thrown us out already. Still tolerating us, and now he's bluffing with threats? Who's he trying to scare? I need a proper explanation. Han Yu stormed in with Defeng, confronting Lu Ziqiang. Lu's ear was bandaged, still ringing from the shot fired near his head. Facing the man who had humiliated him, his tone was ice. Explanation? I thought you came to explain yourself. He jabbed at his ear. That shot. Care to explain? My men are dead. Han Yu's eyes burned red. Killed inside your district. Lu sneered. I told you not to enter. You didn't listen. Who's to blame? Fuck you. Defeng snarled, pulling a gun, aiming at Lu. Keep playing games, I'll blow your head off right now. Han Yu didn't stop him. He was furious too. But Lu didn't flinch. At the commotion, a squad of executors poured in, weapons raised, surrounding Han Yu and Defeng. This is my turf. Lu's face was cold. You strutted once. Enough. Han Yu's gut tightened, but he kept his composure. What do you mean? My meaning is clear. Lu's eyes narrowed. I don't want trouble. But I don't fear it. He waved sharply. Disarm them. His men surged forward. Han Yu snarled. You dare. Why wouldn't I? Lu slammed the table. You fired a gun by my ear. And I can't even strip your weapons? You think I'm your father, here to indulge you? The tension thickened, air heavy with violence. F-27's executors, knowing their captain had been humiliated, showed no hesitation. In disarming, they threw punches at Han Yu and Defeng. You have a chief. So do we. Lu clasped his hands behind his back, savoring the moment. Our chief said it himself. If you won't take the face we give you, then tear it apart. Li Jiang had indeed said that. The Tri-Union's antics had enraged him. Now F-32's executors were piling on. What was F-27, a public toilet? For anyone to piss in? Han Yu's teeth ground audibly. He believed he was in the right. His men had died. Killed by spirit servants. And now Lu offered no explanation. Only humiliation. He remembered his chief's words. If F-27 fought back, it meant one thing. Snakes and rats in the same nest. Colluding with the fugitive. You F-27 bastards. Filthy. Han Yu spat. What, lose a fight and start whining? Pathetic. Lu scoffed. Escort F-32's dogs out of the district. The men surged again, kicking and beating, dragging Han Yu and Defeng away. Han Yu was shoved into a car, head forced down. His other men arrived for vehicles worth, only to see their captain beaten and dragged. Their anger flared, but F-27's executors met them with fists and boots. Han Yu's men curled up, shielding themselves, enduring the assault. Amid the chaos, Han Yu's eyes gleamed with fury. Too much humiliation. His brothers had died, slain by spirit servants. F-27 hadn't even pretended to investigate. If they were thrown out now, F-27 would cover up the fugitive, hide the medicine, and the loss would be permanent. His men's deaths would mean nothing. No evidence. No justice. So, rage boiled over. Bastards. You won't bully us like this. Han Yu roared, startling his men. Kill them. F-32's executors had been seething, waiting only for his command. Now it came. Guns were drawn. Lu Ziqiang froze. He hadn't expected Han Yu to be this insane. Gunfire erupted. Chaos exploded. Han Yu broke free, snatched a weapon, eyes bloodshot, charging Lu. I told you, guns misfire. Should have listened. Bang. Blood burst from Lu's forehead. His massive body collapsed with a crash. Han Yu, face twisted, fired again and again into the corpse. Only after venting did he regain a shred of reason. Find them. Even if we die, drag those bastards out. He knew, this mess could only be resolved if the fugitive was caught. Otherwise, disaster. Elsewhere in the chief's office. What? Li Jiang's face went pale as he gripped the phone. Lu Ziqiang is dead? Yes. F-32's men went mad. Their captain killed him. The executor on the other end was shaken. Son of a bitch. Li Jiang cursed. What's happening now? They scattered. Looks like they're hunting the fugitive. Hunting? Did that fugitive steal their chief's kidneys? They killed an executor captain over this. Li Jiang couldn't comprehend. All this over stolen goods? Chief, what should we do? If they take the fugitive now, F-27's face is gone. Li Jiang roared. Mobilize every executor. F-32's dogs. Kill them all. Noise outside. Zhang Wenchun frowned at the chaos beyond the window. A subordinate reported, the executors from both districts are fighting. Zhang's eyes narrowed in thought. Then suddenly he rose and walked toward the interrogation room. Inside, Wen Kai's face remained cold and beautiful. This time Zhang did not smile. Your little pup seems to have arrived. Wen Kai's eyes sharpened. But she quickly sneered. Trying to trick me? He's not stupid. He wouldn't. He's not stupid. He's clever. Zhang's lips curved slowly. Whatever method he used, the district is in chaos. Wen Kai stared hard at him. Finally she realized he wasn't lying. This boy wants to create disorder, draw our people out, then find a chance to rescue you. Zhang's tone was calm. I must admit your bond is enviable. I heard you haven't known each other long. Yet the depth of feeling, enviable indeed. When Kai said nothing, she dared not. One wrong word and Zhang would seize Ningfan's weakness. Ningfen had come. Her heart trembled with emotion almost to tears. But more than that, fear. Could he truly stand against Zhang Wenchun? Zhang glanced toward the door, muttering to himself. But if we refuse to leave, what tricks can he play? The district was indeed in turmoil. Nearly 100 executors from F-27 had mobilized, each brimming with murderous rage. Their captain was dead, slain by outsiders on their own soil. Who could swallow such humiliation? In the chief's office, Li Jiang paced heavily, face dark. He had calmed somewhat, but calm only sharpened his unease. Something was wrong. F-32 had lost something. The thief fled into F-27. Then inside the district the fugitives used spirit servants, killing several executors. Suddenly Li Jiang froze, shock flashing across his face. He saw the flaw. Why would fugitives, after stealing, run into F-27? If not for the Tri-Union's occupation, F-27's executors would have joined forces with F-32 to crush them. Running here was suicide. Plus, they knew about the Tri-Union. More. They dared use spirit servants openly because they knew the monitors were shackled. These fugitives came for the Tri-Union. Li Jiang's skin prickled. It's that boy. He remembered, the youth who had orchestrated Su Bei's capture. Only one meeting. He couldn't even recall his face. He knew Zhang Wenchun's scheme was to lure that boy. But he hadn't believed the boy would dare. Yet now he had come. Not only come but deceived them all. Li Jiang snatched up the phone. But before he could dial, muffled thuds echoed outside. He turned toward the door, his heavy body retreating a step, eyes wide with shock. His mind roared. Every executor had been sent out to fight F-32. The building was nearly defenseless. And outside, bang! The door burst open. A young man entered, chest bound in blood-stained bandages. Hello, Chief Li Jiang. The youth smiled. Chief. F-27 has torn the mask off. Han Yu crouched in an alley, phone pressed to his ear. They've mobilized every executor to hunt us down. Hunt you? Yes. Hunt us. Not even bothering with excuses. Han Yu's emotions churned. Rage, resentment, fear. He had seen it himself. F-27 executors shooting fugitives on sight. And he had killed Lu Ziqiang with his own hands. Their thirst for his blood would be greater still. Panic gnawed at him. Damn it. Too much. His chief's voice was sharp. Have you caught the fugitive? Not yet. Han Yu hesitated, then added quickly, but we did hear something. A young man was looking for buyers for a vial of special medicine today. That man was Su Ben. At Ningfan's instruction. A deliberate move, to cement the fugitive's presence in F-27. The chief's tone grew stronger. Good. I'll contact the Central District. Let's see how far F-27 dares go. His voice was low, dangerous. But for Han Yu, whether the Central District intervened was irrelevant. Chief, what about us? Hold on. Once I hear back I'll inform you. Just endure a little longer. The words left Han Yu stunned. Chief, didn't you hear me? Every executor in F-27 is hunting us. We can't hide much longer. Stay calm. News will come soon. The line went dead. Han Yu stared at the phone, face twisted, teeth chattering with rage. Meanwhile, his chief, after hanging up, hesitated only briefly before dialing the Central District. As he explained, his voice grew more agitated. By the end he was shouting into the receiver. My men are all dead in F-27. What is this? Every executor was handpicked, trained by me. Their deaths cut into my heart like knives. All dead. They were my children. I don't care. If F-27 doesn't give me justice today, I'll lead my men myself. Let them kill me too if they can. I cannot calm down. If I don't get fair compensation today, then from this day forward, I'll fight F-27 to the bitter end. None of us will rest easy. Bang. He slammed the phone down. His fury slowly cooled, replaced by grim resolve. Steal from me? I'll flay you alive. If you're... Li Jiang recognized Ning Fan. But he had never imagined this child would appear here. Ning Fan had already told Xiao Fei and the others. In the chaos he would strike big. And now, standing before him, Li Jiang, the chief of F-27, was that big one. No one could have guessed Ning Fan would orchestrate such a grand play, stirring 2 districts into turmoil, only to reveal his true target, the chief himself. This wasn't courage. It was madness. Seems Chief Li Jiang has forgotten my name. Ning Fan stepped forward slowly, extending his hand. I'm Ning Fan. You're insane. Li Jiang recoiled, refusing the handshake. Insane? Perhaps. Ning Fan's smile deepened. Care to chat with a madman? Li Jiang saw it clearly. This boy had changed. That smile carried mockery, those eyes held no fear. Confidence. Come. And in his gaze, Li Jiang was nothing but a toy. A plaything to be handled at will. What do you want? Li Jiang admitted he was rattled. To throw 1 district, no, 2 districts, into chaos like this. He had never seen such a thing. Perhaps the Tri-Union could. But this boy? He shouldn't have that kind of power. The Tri-Union. How many men, what abilities were there stationed? Ning Fan's tone was crisp. Give me a full dossier, Chief Li Jiang. Even though he had suspected Ning Fan's aim, hearing it aloud shocked him. This boy's audacity was terrifying. Is there a problem? You're bluffing me? Li Jiang tried to steady himself. Why do you think I'd cooperate? You will. Ning Fan smiled again, then opened the door. Outside, his guards and driver lay in pools of blood. Ning Fan gestured. I've already gone this far. Do you think I'd hesitate to kill a chief? Li Jiang's jowls quivered, terror spilling through his eyes. He had thought Ning Fan knocked them unconscious. But the truth was bloodier. This boy was truly mad. Ning Fan had made his point. Blood had been spilled. There was no turning back. The boy was ruthless. A moment later, Ning Fan's broken sword rested on Li Jiang's shoulder, its edge less than 5 centimeters from his throat. Chief Li Jiang, don't waste time stalling. I won't give you the chance. Li Jiang's heart jolted. Ning Fan had read his thoughts perfectly. You're no match for the Tri-Union. Li Jiang gasped. Child, you're too young. The blade nicked his neck, silencing him. If you won't talk to me, Ning Fan's voice was cold. I'll find someone else who will. Before Li Jiang could react, Ning Fan seized his collar, dragging him down the stairs and out of the chief's building. Even outside, Li Jiang dared not shout. He knew, if he resisted, the sword would strike before help could come. A car waited. His own car. Ning Fan shoved him inside. Huizi sat at the wheel. Su Ben in the passenger seat. Ning Fan climbed in after them. Huizi turned, grinning. Chief Li Jiang, an honor. Huizi chuckled. District's too chaotic. Only this car won't be checked. Borrowing it, no objections, right? Minutes later, Li Jiang was dragged into the House of Stray Dogs hideout. He glanced around, frowning. He hadn't even known such a place existed in F-27. Huizi stood on a stool, twisting a bulb into place. Flickered to life. He grinned. Good. We've got power. Li Jiang's shadow stretched across the wall. Ning Fan sat opposite, leaning forward, elbows on his knees. Chief Li Jiang, when we last met I admired you. Yi Liang took Su Bei. You said you were angry, but for F-27's sake you swallowed it. Ning Fan's voice was calm. But now. Your men are dead again. Li Jiang flinched. Ning Fan's eyes narrowed. Same shit. Only now they've dumped it twice on your head. Li Jiang clenched his fists, rage burning. Ning Fan glanced at them, sneering. Are you angry at the Tri-Union? Or at my words? You won't leave F-27 alive. Li Jiang growled. Worth a try. Ning Fan shrugged. Like grabbing you, I only wanted to test it. And look, it worked. His face hardened. Now the question again. The Tri-Union's men. Their dossiers. Give them to me. And if I refuse? Li Jiang clung to his last shred of pride. He could endure humiliation from the Tri-Union. But from a child. Huizi, ask him. Ning Fan cut him off. Huizi nodded, approaching with a rag. Li Jiang tensed, uncertain what awaited. Forgive me, Chief Li Jiang. Huizi pried open his mouth, stuffed the rag deep inside. Li Jiang gagged, jaw nearly dislocated, powerless to resist. His eyes bulged, veins straining, sweat pouring. Huizi's dagger pierced his shadow. Yes, he had unleashed his spirit servant. Normally, monitors would detect such use instantly. But now they were shackled. No one could intervene. Chief Li Jiang, don't hold back. When you're ready to talk, tell me. Ning Fan leaned against the wall, voice quiet. Li Jiang's veins throbbed, his body rigid, unable to move. His shadow bound, his flesh helpless. He blinked furiously at Ning Fan, desperate to yield. Ning Fan tilted his head. Ready to talk? Li Jiang tried to nod, but his neck was locked. Panic consumed him. He had surrendered but couldn't show it. I think he wants to speak. Ning Fan said. Huizi raised a brow. Really? Seems so. Then ask him. Ask him. All right. Huizi withdrew the dagger, yanked out the rag. Li Jiang collapsed, gasping, convulsing on the floor. Pain unlike anything he had ever known. Chief Li Jiang, remember my question? Ning Fan crouched before him, gaze sharp, towering. Li Jiang's eyes met his, now filled with something new. Fear. He no longer dared underestimate this boy. Their squad leader. Zhang Wenchun. Tell me something I don't know. Ning Fan already knew the name Zhang Wenchun. They had spoken once before over the phone. After steadying his breath, Li Jiang spilled everything he knew. He was terrified. That dagger-wielding man's methods were too cruel. From Li Jiang's account, they learned that the Tri-Union squad numbered 8, led by Zhang Wenchun. Their purpose was simple: to vent Su Bei's anger. Zhang Wenchun was 100 souls level, though his exact ability was unknown. The other 7 Li Jiang guessed were all 10 souls level. In the Dark Lodge, even the lowest members were never single soul. The entire squad was gathered inside the Monitor's building. And when Kai was there too. At her name, Ning Fan's pupils contracted sharply. Kaijie, what's her situation? His face was calm, but Li Jiang could feel the fury beneath. She's unharmed. Li Jiang's lips trembled purple. Zhang Wenchun doesn't dare touch her. Doesn't dare. Ning Fan's brow arched. You don't know Wen Kai's identity? Li Jiang was surprised. To him, Ning Fan's reckless rescue made no sense if he didn't know. If he truly didn't, was it worth it? What identity? Her father is the Central District's chief researcher. Wen Shuyuan. The House of Stray Dogs froze. Wen Kai's father was a man of the Central District? Ning Fan was shaken but also relieved. Kaijie was safe. Child, you didn't need to risk so much, Li Jiang muttered weakly. Even if you hadn't come, Zhang Wenchun would have released her in a few days. Ning Fan's gaze bore down from above, making Li Jiang squirm. He'll release Kaijie. But the other monitors? Do they all have powerful fathers too? Li Jiang's fat face quivered. Ah, I see. Ning Fan's smile was cold. Their lives don't matter, do they? Li Jiang shuddered again. He couldn't read this boy. Couldn't guess his next move. Only knew he was in danger. I only wanted to protect F-27. You don't need to explain. For me, as long as Kaijie is safe, the others. I don't know them well. Ning Fan rose. Chief, I'll be borrowing something from you. Inside the monitor's building interrogation room, Zhang Wenchun still sat across from Wen Kai. Her phone lay on the table between them. Neither spoke. The air was suffocating. Since Zhang had guessed the chaos outside was Ning Fan's doing, he hadn't left the room. He was waiting. With such noise, Ning Fan would come. Ring, ring, ring. The phone buzzed. Wen Kai lunged for it. But Zhang was faster. He snatched it up, answered. Xiao Kai. A warm voice came through. Zhang blinked, then switched to speaker. Hello, Dr. Wen. It was Wen Kai's father. The Central District's chief researcher. Wen Shuyuan. Wen Shuyuan's tone hardened. Su's men. Dark Lodge 7th Squad Captain. Zhang Wenchun. Pai daughter. She's fine. Zhang added quickly. We treat Miss Wen with respect. 3 meals of fine food daily. Wen Shuyuan's voice dropped heavy. Release her. Zhang's brow furrowed. Ning Fan was already here. At such a moment he couldn't let her go. Mr. Wen, you're not my superior. I take orders only from Commander Su and General Luo. Heh. Su Wanjuan's dog, well trained. Zhang's face darkened. Dr. Wen, that's too much. Too much. Wen Shuyuan's voice cut like steel. Barks, obeys, bites. If not a dog, what is it? Zhang's gaze turned venomous toward Wen Kai. She only smiled. Dad, stop. If you anger him, he might bite me. Ask him if he dares. Wen Shuyuan's voice was calm, unshaken. If Su Wanjun or the Dark Lodge generals sat before you, I'd hesitate. But a squad captain. His tone shifted, sharp as a blade. If he bares his teeth at my daughter, I'll rip out every tooth from his family's mouths, 3 generations deep. Zhang's face sank to deathly stillness. The phone creaked under his grip. Zhang, what was it? Zhang Wenchun. Oh, Zhang something. Take care of my daughter. Wen Shuyuan's voice turned casual again. Wait for Su Wanjuan's call. The line went dead. Zhang glared at Wen Kai's smirking face. For a moment he wanted to kill her. But he didn't dare. Wen Shuyuan hadn't lied. If Wen Kai was harmed, anyone tied to Zhang would be buried with her. Su Wanjun would never risk war with the Central District for him. Zhang knew his worth, too little. Damn it. All for nothing. Wen Kai pouted playfully. Captain Zhang, whatever, if you'd had more time, Ning Fan might have come to save me. Too bad. My father's impatient. He can't stand his precious daughter locked away. She knew Su Wanjuan's call would come soon. Then Zhang would have to retreat. Ning Fan would be safe. Zhang's glare burned with frustration. Even if I leave, I'll kill that boy first. If his mission had brought him here, now his hatred was personal. He couldn't touch Wen Kai. But killing Ning Fan would hurt her. That was enough. You wouldn't dare. What wouldn't I dare? Zhang roared, rising. Just as they were about to clash, the phone rang again. Wen Kai froze, then smiled. Your master's calling. She stretched lazily, her figure graceful. Finally, no dog barking at my side. I can relax. I'll go home, take a long bath. But her smile froze. Zhang held up the phone, screen facing her. He saw the name. Her heart clenched. It was him. The little heartless one. Wen Kai's face changed instantly. This foolish child. Couldn't he wait a little longer? Once Su Wanjuan's call came through, everything would be over. But while she panicked, Zhang Wenchun was nearly ecstatic. Providence, he exclaimed, then answered the phone. Before he could speak, Wen Kai shouted loudly into the receiver. Ning Fan. Don't worry about me. Zhang Wenchun is leaving soon. He doesn't dare touch me. Don't be stupid. Zhang's brow furrowed. He strode out of the room and locked the door tight. No matter how Wen Kai pounded, he ignored her. Little friend, Zhang said smoothly, Since you've come all this way, won't you show yourself? He tried to sound calm. If Ning Fan truly listened to Wen Kai's warning and stayed away, Zhang would be helpless. But inside, his killing intent surged. His breath grew heavy, his eyes dark. He waited for Ning Fan's reply. Such noise outside, don't you want to see it for yourself? Finally Ning Fan spoke. Zhang trembled with excitement. If I leave, who will protect your Kaijia? His lips curled upward. The district is too chaotic. I must keep her safe. Then I'll thank you for that. Relieved to know Wen Kai was unharmed, Ning Fan's tone lightened. Zhang chuckled. No thanks needed. It's my duty. Don't you want to see how she is now? I heard her voice just now. Strong and steady. She's fine. Ning Fan smiled. Zhang's brow tightened. Damn it. The boy had heard her. But it's been a while. I do miss her, Ning Fan added. Then came the words that stunned Zhang Wenchun. Since you won't come out, I'll come in. The call ended. Zhang froze. He said he was coming in, but he knew this was a trap. Wen Kai had told him Zhang would leave soon. Why would he still walk into danger? It made no sense. Zhang rushed to the window. He saw Ning Fan. The boy tucked the phone into his pocket, then lifted his head, smiling brightly. He pointed at himself, then at Zhang above. Finally, he drew his hand across his throat. Zhang understood. I'm here to kill you. Ning Fan stepped into the monitor's building. The stench of blood hit him immediately. Dark stains marred the floor, scrubbed but never erased. The Tri-Union had turned this place into hell. 2 doors opened. Men emerged. Spirit Servant, shackles. Spirit Servant, chains. Ning Fan's body tightened. Chains wrapped around him, binding him fast. Bang! He fell to the floor, bound. The 2 men approached. Ning Fan looked up, still smiling. 2 control types. Your captain honors me. One man pressed a boot to his face. Boy, don't be reckless. It'll cost your life. They dragged him upstairs. Zhang Wenchun sat in the 3rd floor hall, legs crossed. When his men hauled Ning Fan before him, his smile bloomed. Perfect timing. The phone rang. Su Wanjun. Release her. Su's voice was sharp. Let the one girl go. Kill the rest. Commander Su. Zhang's eyes gleamed as he looked at Ning Fan. I've caught the one who dared touch the young commander. Oh. Just now. Zhang's pride swelled. He's bound before me like a dog. Su Wanjun's mood lifted. Good. Kill him too. Yes, Commander. Zhang hung up, leaned close and sneered. You came to kill me? Yes. Ning Fan's voice was calm. You understood. Zhang narrowed his eyes. How? Stare me to death. You don't know my strength. Why assume I can't? Though bound, Ning Fan turned his head toward the men around him. All this just to vent for your young commander? And you bring me such rotten trash. Thud. A boot slammed into his back. Watch your mouth, brat. Others glared, furious. He was bound, yet still dared to provoke them. Was he insane? Zhang studied him, unsettled. The boy wasn't stupid. So why no fear? Did he not understand the situation? Or was his strength so great he could ignore them? Impossible. If he truly had such power, he would have stormed in directly. Why orchestrate such chaos? As Zhang puzzled, a cold voice rang from the interrogation room. Spirit Servant, Amber. Boom. Wen Kai burst forth, wrapped in golden light. Her eyes brimmed with emotion. Worry, but most of all, deep aching gratitude. He had come. Her eyes glistened, reddening. You idiot, she cried. Didn't you hear me? They can't hurt me. Why are you so stubborn? Her body trembled with anger and fear. You're just a boy. Playing hero? Do you have the strength? You're clever most of the time. Why be foolish now? She stamped her foot, frantic. But Ning Fan, lying bound, only smiled when he saw her. A true heartfelt smile. You're smiling? At a time like this? You'll drive me mad. When Kai lunged for Zhang's phone, she had to call her father. He had to save Ningfan. But Zhang was ready. He dodged easily. Miss Wen, don't worry. Once I kill him, the phone is yours. You dare. Her spirit servant flared. But before she could strike, Ningfan spoke. Kaijie, seeing you run, shout, scold, it's good. When Kai froze, confusion filled her eyes. He realized something was wrong. Ningfan wasn't afraid. Not at all. I know they won't harm you. But I had to come. His smile never faded. When we were in F-27 you treated me kindly. I remember. His face darkened, gaze locking on Zhang Wenchun. So now for the wrongs you've suffered. I'll make them pay. Would you like me to continue translating the next sequence, where Ningfan turns the trap against Zhang Wenchun and the Tri-Union squad? When Kai's nose stung and suddenly she burst into tears. Are you even grown yet? What are you doing, trying to woo me? She knew this wasn't the time for such words. But Ningfan's voice had pierced her heart. You little bastard. Always with your tricks. Too damn good at it. Woo. Beside them, Zhang Wenchun nearly ground his teeth to dust. These two, they weren't even taking him seriously. Originally, I wanted to play with you slowly. Zhang's face was cold as he strode toward Ningfan. But I've changed my mind. He raised his hand. Spirit servant, chasing fate. From his palm, a long sword began to form. When Kai's sobs stopped, her eyes widened in terror. High level, 100 souls. Lin Chuan had once said, when one's bond with a spirit servant was deep enough, weapons weren't needed. To conjure a weapon from spirit power itself. This was the mark of 100 souls master. Zhang Wenchun's strength was far beyond what Wen Kai had imagined. Even a squad captain of the Dark Lodge had such power? He raised the sword high, killing intent blazing. No. When Kai screamed, she tried to rush forward, but the squad members blocked her. Her face turned pale. Just as she prepared to unleash her own spirit servant to shield Ningfan, she froze. Not only her. Zhang Wenchun too. The sword in his hand dissolved. Clang. The chains binding Ningfan fell away. The entire building was suddenly enveloped in a strange force. When Kai's eyes lit up. This is. Before her astonished gaze, Ningfan pressed his hands to the floor and rose slowly. He rolled his shoulder, flexing his arm. Then with a sudden kick he sent the man who had struck his back flying into the wall. Zhang Wenchun was stunned. He stared at Ningfan in disbelief. And in that moment he understood. You can't use spirit servants anymore, can you? Ningfan's smile curved. Guess it's my turn to speak loudly. He picked up the broken sword at his side and walked toward Zhang Wenchun. I gave you the spirit sealing device. In the car, Li Jiang had lost all dignity. Now, can you let me go? Yes. The thing Ningfan had borrowed was the spirit sealing device. Only Li Jiang as chief could open the equipment vault. By the time Ningfan called Zhang Wenchun, the device had already been placed around the monitor's building. It needed 20 minutes to activate. Now the time had come. Let you go. Huizi sneered. Chief, even without Ningfan we're not that stupid. If we let you go, would we live? Li Jiang stammered. I swear in the name of F-27's chief, if you release me. Quiet. A tang blade pressed against his throat. Li Jiang shut his mouth, eyes pleading. Qiao Fei ignored him, turning to Huizi. Go pick up Ningfan. Got it. Huizi hit the accelerator. He muttered. Qiao Fei, why didn't Ningfan wait until the device was fully active before going in? Qiao Fei stayed silent. Su Ben answered quickly. He was afraid they'd realize the device was on, panic, and use Sister Wen as a hostage. Third floor monitors building. Blood pooled across the floor. Drip. Drip. The broken sword dripped crimson. Of the Dark Lodge's 7th squad, only Zhang Wenchun remained. barely alive. The broken sword had pierced his chest, pinning him to the wall. Blood gushed from his mouth. He was dying. I don't accept this. His eyes burned with venom like a vengeful ghost. Ning Fan stood before him, face calm. Whether you accept it or not doesn't matter to me. He gripped the sword. All I know is, you die, I live. He pulled the blade free. Blood sprayed. Zhang Wenchun collapsed, gasping weakly. Within half a minute his pupils dimmed and life fled. He had never accepted it. From start to finish he hadn't fought Ning Fan head-on. Ning Fan had given him no chance. With the spirit sealing device active, Ning Fan had wielded his blade. The Tri-Union squad was annihilated. When Kai stood frozen, unable to process it, Ning Fan shook the blood from his sword, slung it across his back and walked to her. Kai Jie, it's over. She blinked, regaining herself. But instead of gratitude she burst out. You bastard! Why didn't you say you had the device? You nearly scared me to death. I thought you were going to die. She cried and cursed. Ning Fan gave a bitter smile. I couldn't say it in front of them. Of course when Kai understood. But she still wanted to vent. No reason needed. You could have waited until it was fully active. Why Russian? What if they killed you before saying a word? She struck him with her fists, sobbing. Zhang Wenchun wanted me alive. He wouldn't kill me quickly. He needed to vent first. That's what I thought. Ning Fan's tone was light, almost detached. So you gambled your life on a guess? He was furious. Ning Fan nodded seriously. I had to gamble. She couldn't understand. But he explained. If I had armies at my command, only a fool would gamble his life. But I don't. His smile was weary. Poor with nothing to risk. How else do you defy fate? Ning Fan. He saw it. He had changed. His eyes, once clear, were now deep shadowed. Before she could speak, Ning Fan took her wrist. Kai Jie, will you come with me? Her face flushed crimson, eyes wide. What did you say? Her heart raced, heat rising from her cheeks to her neck. This boy. Those words. What did he mean? She wanted to lower her head in shy silence. But before she could answer, Ning Fan added, making her heart pound harder. Oh, I forgot to mention. To save you, I kidnapped Li Jiang. What the hell? Say that again. When Kai's voice cracked, Ning Fan's words had caught her completely off guard. You kidnapped him? What for? Saving me, what does that have to do with? She stopped mid-sentence, realization dawning. The spirit-sealing device? Yes, that was it. Everyone who could access the device was locked inside. The only one outside was Li Jiang. Even so, when Kai couldn't understand. Still, you could have just talked to him. Why tie him up? For the first time she thought this boy was a little crazy. Risking everything to save her, she was touched. But did it have to be this loud, this reckless? Dragging Li Jiang into the mess too? Kai Jie, you know the truth in your heart. Ning Fan's tone hardened. Li Jiang abandoned the monitors just to avoid offending the Tri-Union. In his eyes, am I worth more than them? When Kai's breath caught, he understood. If Ning Fan had gone to Li Jiang openly, 9 times out of 10, Li Jiang would have handed him straight to Zhang Wenchun. Sacrificing one Ning Fan to get rid of a troublemaker. Too convenient. But, her brows furrowed. She didn't pity Li Jiang. His cowardice had cost the monitors their lives. What she worried about now was how Ning Fan would escape after stirring such chaos. Suddenly her heart jolted. She stared at him in disbelief. Ning Fan, when you asked if I'd go with you, was it because F-27 is about to fall into chaos? His answer left her speechless. He hadn't said it outright, but she knew Li Jiang would die. From the moment Ning Fan planned to capture him, he had already decided not to leave him alive. Once an enemy was made, there was no point in letting him live to nurse hatred. If you could kill, you killed. Kaijia, at first I didn't know your identity. I had already decided I would take you with me no matter what. Ning Fan's voice was firm. But now you have a choice. With your father's position, even if Li Jiang dies, no one will dare touch you. When Kai lowered her head, brows knitted tight. I'll go with you. She didn't hesitate long. But before we leave, there's something I need to do. What is it? 5 monitors died. Zhang Wenchuan's squad only killed 2. Her eyes flashed with cold light. Ning Fan frowned. Then the other 3. She didn't answer. Instead, she picked up her phone, strode to the second floor and kicked open a door. Inside, a man cowered in the corner, trembling. He had felt the spirit-sealing device's power, heard the screams upstairs. He knew Ning Fan had come for Wen Kai. He had prayed Zhang Wenchun would kill Ning Fan. But he didn't believe in gods. And gods didn't believe in him. Captain Wen, don't blame me. I just wanted to live. Wen Kai cut him off coldly. Who doesn't want to live? Her earring glowed in her hand. Spirit servant, amber. Golden light shot straight into his brow. He didn't even have time to beg. His eyes bulged, body stiffened. Animal. Wen Kai spat on him, then turned with Ning Fan to leave. Outside the monitor's building, Wen Kai saw the car waiting. Li Jiang's car. Ning Fan opened the door. Li Jiang's head popped out immediately. Xiao Kai, save me. Tell them to let me go. Wen Kai frowned. Ning Fan drove the broken sword into his thigh. Ah! Li Jiang screamed once, then felt the tang blade at his throat. Qiao Fei's warning. Sweat poured down his face. He dared not speak again. Ning Fan climbed in, squeezing against Li Jiang, then glanced apologetically at Wen Kai. Kaijia, the car's crowded. We'll have to squeeze. She looked at Li Jiang's side and let it go. It's fine. I'll sit on your lap. Ning Fan froze. Before he could react, Wen Kai slid in, settling onto his legs. His arms instinctively wrapped around her waist, his face burning red. Kaijia. What? She was embarrassed too. You're a little heavy. Shut that damn mouth of yours if you can't say anything nice. Huizi drove the car to the gate. The guards outside were lax. The district was in chaos. Most fighters had gone to hunt F-32's executors. Huizi leaned out the window. Blind dogs. Don't you recognize whose car this is? The guard hadn't even had time to stop them. The car rolled up, Huizi barking like a mad dog. Startled, the guard recognized Li Jiang's car. Sorry. I didn't see clearly. Open the gate. Now. Yes. The guard rushed to open it. But as the gate swung wide, doubt flickered. The driver looked familiar. He'd seen him today. And he wasn't the chief's driver. He turned about to ask. But the car roared forward, blasting through the gate. His face went pale. In that instant he saw Chief Li Jiang inside. But at his throat, a tang blade gleamed. Half an hour later, the car sped far from F-27. Huizi stopped the car. Ning Fan's voice was calm. My legs are numb. A smack to the head. Delivered by Wen Kai. I'm 172. 100 pounds. 10 of those are chest alone. Fat. He was furious. Qiao Fei, sitting beside Li Jiang, raised a brow. Was this really something to shout in front of everyone? Ning Fan rubbed his aching head, nearly drawing his sword in reflex. Up front, Huizi slammed the brakes, muttering, Captain, if you're that uncomfortable, take the wheel. I'll sit in back. My legs are all muscle, I don't mind the squeeze. They all got out. Except Li Jiang, who lingered. Seeing them laugh and joke, he seized the moment. Boy, you've killed, you've escaped. Can I go now? He forced a smile. This car, consider it a gift from your uncle. You'll need it for your journey. I'll walk back. In the wilderness. How will you manage? Ning Fan's gaze was cold. Not afraid of beasts? I'll avoid them. Li Jiang laughed weakly. These fugitives were far more terrifying than beasts. Ning Fan didn't bother with more words. He turned to Wen Kai. Kaijia. Step aside. Wen Kai knew exactly what Ning Fan intended. She and Li Jiang were in some way acquaintances. Killing him in front of her. Ning Fan feared it would unsettle her. And in truth, Wen Kai did feel uneasy. All right. She walked a few steps away. Li Jiang panicked for real this time. He knew he was in danger, yet clung to the hope that Ning Fan wouldn't dare kill him. He was a chief after all. Killing a chief was a capital crime. Even Su Bei, an A-class fugitive, had never dared kill a chief, only high-ranking officers. Ning Fan. Child. Don't be rash. We can talk this out. Li Jiang raised his hands, struggling desperately. Do I look rash to you? Ning Fan's gaze was calm as he looked at him inside the car. Letting you go back would be a problem. Li Jiang broke down in tears. No. I won't cause you trouble. I swear. This logic I learned from you. Ning Fan's voice was cold. Self-preservation. To avoid unnecessary trouble, one can sacrifice those who don't matter. He raised the broken sword. And you don't matter to me. No, The blade pierced Li Jiang's throat. Blood sprayed across the car. Qiao Fei frowned. How are we supposed to drive this now? We can't keep the car, Ning Fan said. A chief's car draws too much attention. Qiao Fei nodded. Where to next? Let's discuss. Ning Fan gathered the group. Not far away, Li Jiang's car burned in the night. Wen Kai stared at the flames, lost in thought. Why don't we head back to F21? Su Ben suggested carelessly. Uncle Song won't trouble us even if he knows what we did. Ning Fan believed him. But not yet. He shook his head. We're tainted. Returning now would only burden Song. Su Ben scowled. I call him uncle, you call him brother? Brother Song told me to. Ning Fan didn't argue further. He shifted the topic. Let me lay out the problems I see. If I miss anything, you add. The four fell silent. First, F-32 shouldn't be able to trace us. Ning Fan's tone was grave. From the medicine to the chase, maybe someone saw me, but nothing memorable enough to identify. I drove a Zhongfeng Group car. When executors pursued us, they saw our vehicle, but that car. He looked at Huizi. Huizi nodded. Handled. After ambushing De Feng in F-27, Ning Fan had ordered Huizi to dispose of the car immediately. The method was simple. Sell it. Though the car was high quality, Huizi sold it dirt cheap for 1,000. Any black market dealer would know it was dirty. No instructions needed, they'd scrub it clean themselves. With the car gone, the trail is gone. Ning Fan continued. But Huizi frowned. The executors saw us. Especially the one who escaped. He meant De Feng. Doesn't matter. Ning Fan's voice was quiet. I saw his corpse on the road. Dead. Not just De Feng. On you too. Most of F-32's executors were gone. As Ning Fan had predicted, once both sides went mad, no one cared about consequences. More importantly, Chief Li Jiang was gone and Captain Lu Ziqiang was dead. That gave the survivors license to go wild. So the real problem is here in F-27. Qiao Fei gestured toward the burning car. Li Jiang died at our hands. Yes. Compared to F-32, the death of F-27's chief was the greater disaster. Who says he died? Ning Fan smiled. Qiao Fei blinked. The body was burning in the car. Wasn't that proof enough? He's missing. Ning Fan added softly. Qiao Fei understood instantly. You mean, if someone doesn't want him dead, then he isn't dead. Ning Fan's eyes narrowed. From F-32's perspective, if Li Jiang died, there are only two possibilities. We killed him or their executors did. Either outcome is unacceptable. Their chief doesn't care about truth. He cares about profit. Only if Li Jiang lives can F-32 demand compensation from F-27. And if Li Jiang doesn't show his face, F-27 is left leaderless, making it easier for F-32 to apply pressure. So until they squeeze enough benefit, Li Jiang won't die. If I'm right, the Central District will send investigators soon. If they dig deep, they'll find us. But F-32's chief will be more desperate to bury the truth. The medicine is gone. 6 squads of executors are dead. They stake too much. They can't afford to lose. So their only choice is to steer the investigation toward a result that benefits them. And that result must exclude us. Ning Fan smiled. F-32 will want the report to say, Li Jiang went rogue, secretly stole their medicine, slaughtered their executors and fled early to avoid punishment. When Kai licked her dry lips, he understood. If it was revealed Ning Fan killed Li Jiang, F-32 would lose everything: medicine, men and face. They couldn't afford that. But the thought chilled her. This is why you dragged Li Jiang out to kill him? She looked at Ning Fan. He nodded. Only if he died outside could F-32 cover for us. The unspoken truth was clear to all. If Li Jiang lived, they'd be enemies of both districts. So he had to die. And die outside. Neither F-27 nor F-32 will trouble us for now. That's not our worry. Ning Fan's voice hardened. Our real problem is the Tri-Union. All 4 faces darkened. Su Wanjun knows. Without doubt. The one who destroyed Zhang Wenquan's squad was me.